welcome to another episode of Wildlife Wednesdays, brought to you by Oxbow Meadows of Columbus State University. And extra exciting because today is Earth Day, so a very happy Earth Day as well. So for our special Earth Day topic today, we are going to talk about conservation. And to do that, I'm going to use two of my all-time favorite Georgia native species, the gopher tortoise, and a little bit later on, one of their friends, the indigo snake. We'll talk about her too. So, right now I'm outside in our gopher tortoise exhibit. We've got 4 adult gopher tortoises that live in here. So for those of you who maybe aren't so familiar, this is a gopher tortoise. They are native to Georgia, mostly in the southeast region of Georgia, but we do have them around here in Columbus as well. Now these are really special animals. They are what we call a keystone species. What that means is they have a huge impact on the environment that they live on, and they influence all other critters that live in that ecosystem. Now these guys usually live in the longleaf pine ecosystems. And what makes them so special, what makes them so impactful, is these burrows. I don't know if you guys can see behind me. We've got some burrows. This one's sticking his little backside out of one. But gopher tortoises, like their namesake, will dig these incredible burrows, these really long, magnificent homes. And these are really important for lots of reasons. One, it is the gopher tortoise's homes. It can be, I think they're like 40 feet long. They can go 10 feet deep, which is just crazy to think about. And they use their front feet. You can see their front feet are really broad, really flat, kind of like a shovel. Their back feet are kind of little elephant-shaped feet. They're pretty cute. So they use their big, strong front feet to dig these incredible burrows. The burrows are not only a home for the gopher tortoise, but lots of other animals like to live in their burrows as well. So small rodents, frogs, snakes, pretty much anything else that lives in the longleaf pine ecosystem will share those burrows with the gopher tortoise. So, like I said, they are very impactful. They create homes for lots of other critters that they live with, and so that is why they are called a keystone species. Now, here's someone moving back there. Now these tortoises, they are land tortoises, so they live on the land. They can't swim. This one little one that I've been showing you is edging towards the water, maybe going for a drink, but they don't swim, they can't swim. They've got stumpy feet, they don't have webbed feet, they have a huge clunky shell that would be really hard for them to pull through the water. So they are land tortoises. Yes, they live mostly on land. Hello there. They also, you can see behind me here, he's got a big old tray full of greens. So these guys are vegetarians or herbivores. They will eat grasses, low-lying fruits, shrubs, whatever they can get their little mouths on, vegetation-wise, that is. So they are herbivores. Let's see, what else? They are one of the longer-lived species of tortoises. They are actually, I think, the biggest species of land tortoise that we have on this side of the Mississippi. So this one that I've been showing you, I don't know how old he is because he was actually brought to us as a rescue. He's got a fun, well, not a fun story, but he's got a really important story. One of our volunteers actually found him over by Fort Benning. I think he was hit by a car. You can see here he's got a scar on his shell. So we kind of we're not a rehab. Please don't bring us injured animals. But sometimes we can't take care of them. Of course, we have to get special permission from the state of Georgia, from Georgia Department of Natural Resources, to have these animals. But once we do, if they are in an unsafe location, a lot of our other tortoises were brought to us because they were in an unsafe place and lots of human activity was kind of compromising their habitat. So if they are in an unsafe place, or if they are injured and may not be able to survive in the wild on their own, Georgia DNR has given us special permission to use these animals as educational tools. So just like well, not so much anymore, but when we wake up and go to work every day, our animals wake up and go to work every day too, and their job is to teach you guys about them and their habitats and all that good stuff. So our gopher tortoises here are doing great work, kind of showing you how gopher tortoises are and why they're so important in the wild. So let's see what this guy's gonna do. So he's mostly healed up. He just had that little scar on his shell. It's probably not gonna heal because it is bone. His shell is made up of bone, but he's totally fine now. He can walk around. He's got no permanent damage, just a little scar tissue. So, yes. Now gopher tortoises, they are protected under Georgia law, and I want to say Florida too, and Alabama. They are not endangered, but they are considered a candidate that could become vulnerable to in becoming extinct eventually. And the main threat that they're facing is habitat loss. So building, construction sites, you know, all this kind of human activity that we're destroying the longleaf pine ecosystem, we're destroying their habitat. And like I said, because they are a keystone species, we're not just taking away the gopher tortoises, but it's everyone else, all the other species in that ecosystem that they create a home and environment for. So another very important animal that the gopher tortoise creates a home for is the eastern indigo snake. Now these snakes are very cool. They're very special. They're very cool. They're very special. They are the largest non-venomous snakes that we have here in Georgia. So they are native to Georgia, just like the gopher tortoises are. So here's our eastern indigo snake. They are federally protected. For the same reason the gopher tortoises are, they are vulnerable to extinction just because of habitat loss. Because once the gopher tortoises are gone, these guys don't have a home anymore. They do live in the gopher tortoises' burrows. They're kind of like roommates in the animal world. And the indigo snakes are pretty cool. They kind of tie the whole ecosystem together. The way they do that, they are the top predator, so they are going to eat whatever they can. Nothing can eat them, which is pretty cool. And like I said, they are the largest non-venomous snakes that we have in the U.S. So this one's obviously not that big, but she is only about 4 years old. Once they get bigger, they can grow up to 9 feet. So she can get much, much bigger than this. So the indigo snakes are very special, like I said, because they are kind of the top of their food chain. Another really cool thing about them is they have the ability to eat venomous snakes, like the king snake, if you were tuning in last week on last week's episode. So just like the king snake, the eastern indigo snake can also eat venomous snakes, and we don't really understand how or why, but we do believe that there is some sort of immunity to the venom of the snakes that they eat. So it's really important that we have these animals and that we can learn about them so that we can protect them in their natural habitats. So if you have come across a gopher tortoise or know where they are burrowing or anything like that, the most important thing to do is just leave them alone. We don't want to touch these animals. I know I'm breaking that rule right now, but these are not wild animals. These are our educational ambassadors, as I mentioned before. So these guys are for the specific purpose of touching and showing people and learning about them. But if you see one in the wild, you never want to touch the gopher tortoises, mostly because we can spread diseases, we can get them sick. It's not a good idea. And then the indigo snake, it's never a good idea to pick up a snake you don't know. So if you see these animals, give them space. If you have a gopher tortoise living in your yard, the most important thing to do is make sure you get all your proper permittation if you're ever going to make any kind of landscape changes, I guess. You don't want to disturb their burrows at all, but if you need to, I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. You should not mess with them. If you have them in your yard, just let them be. Plant native plants. That'll help give them a food source and just give them their space and respect that they deserve.
Somebody just wanted to confirm that the indigo snakes don't kill people.
Indigo snakes don't kill people. They are non-venomous, and they're actually. People used to collect them for pets. Now that is illegal. You can get in serious trouble for capturing indigo snakes out of the wild, and gopher tortoises too. You're not allowed to mess with them in the wild. But people who capture them as pets, I want to say in the 70s, because of how docile they are. So they're not known to strike out at people or to bite people. They're pretty tame snakes, so even a wild one would probably be pretty tame to pick up, but again, we don't do that. So yeah, they are not harmful to people at all. All right, well, that's all I got for our eastern indigo snake and our gopher tortoise. So I hope you guys are having a great Earth Day. If you haven't already checked out our Earth Day pledge that we're doing, it's a virtual contest. You can find information about that on our social media pages. And all it is a quick little video of how you pledge to help take care of the Earth. So for us here at Oxbow, every day is Earth Day, but we pledge to continue teaching and educating about conservation so that we can make sustainable choices in our everyday life so that our critters, our friends in the wild, can have nice habitats for many years to come. I would also like to mention that all four of our gopher tortoises and our eastern indigo snake here are all available through our Adopt a Critter program. If you want to check that out, now it is not a literal adoption. The animals are going to stay at Oxbow, but it's a figurative adoption, and your donation would go towards feeding and maintaining the animals' care. So you can find more information about that on our website as well. All right, well, that's all I got. Thank you for tuning in.